सारे
और
पाकिस्तान में।
इस वक्त तराजू में, क्योंकि जब होता है कि एक पर हमला दूसरे पर हमला, तो फिर ज़ाहिर पाकिस्तान की तो भारत के साथ नहीं बनती, और हालिया भी जंग हुई, तो क्या ये समझा जाए कि बाकायदा तौर पर वो भी उस तरीके से इन्वॉल्व होंगे? अगर पाकिस्तान और भारत का तनाज़ा होता है, फिर सऊदी अरब का किसी से तनाज़ा होता है, तो हमारी भी फोर्सेज इन्वॉल्व होंगी?
जी बिल्कुल, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है। हमने कोई किसी जो है वो मुल्क का नाम नहीं लिया कि कौन मुल्क जो है वो अग्रेसर होगा तो हम जो है वो रिटेलिएट करेंगे। ना सऊदी अरेबिया ने उसका कोई नाम लिया है, ना हमने कोई नाम लिया है। तो इट इज़ जस्ट एक अम्ब्रेला है जो प्रोवाइड किया गया है दोनों अतराफ से कि किसी के साथ भी एग्रेशन हो, किसी साइड से भी एग्रेशन हो, वो जॉइंटली उस चीज़ को जो है डिफेंड किया जाएगा, उस अग्रेशन का जवाब दिया जाएगा। इट इज़ नॉट एन अग्रेसिव पैक्ट और डिफेंस अरेंजमेंट।
In the meantime, Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Asif, just hours before this pact was announced, spoke of how such an alliance should include other countries. They obviously want to expand this well beyond just Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. There are some who are dubbing this an attempt to have, quote unquote, an Islamic NATO. I want to bring in Ambassador Talmiz Ahmad. How concerned should India be? How do you read this defense pact? The initial statement from our foreign ministry said it was a formalization of an arrangement that already existed. But the NATO-style clause on how an attack on one country will be considered an aggression on the other as well, or on both, I think is the one that is really raising eyebrows. How do you see it, Ambassador?
I tend to see that phrase as platitudinous and even gratuitous. The reason is that even when there are such commitments, verbal commitments, rhetorical commitments, each country in the world, when facing certain challenges, makes an assessment of how it is going to respond. There is no automaticity about this. There is reflection. It takes into account the national interest. It takes into account the totality of circumstances surrounding that challenge. I cannot imagine for the foreseeable future any scenario whatsoever where this particular arrangement would bring the Saudi armed forces aligned with the Pakistanis against India. The context is very clear. This is in response to the sense of insecurity in Riyadh following the Israeli assault upon Doha, which has exposed the entire region as a target to as far as Israeli arms are concerned, and has also shown that there is no credibility to be attached to the American status as a security guarantor in the UAE as far as the region is concerned. The connection with India is very limited. India should be concerned about what is happening in West Asia, but I don't believe that this is directed at India. It is directed at Saudi Arabia to protect Saudi Arabia. And therefore, for us to be ringing all these alarm bells, we must take into account the very substantial ties we have with Saudi Arabia. When we say strategic partnership, there is a very substantial military engagement with the Saudis. We have exercises with them regularly. We have dialogue with them. We have dialogue platforms involving the Prime Minister, the National Security Advisor, and the External Affairs Minister. We are very deeply engaged with each other on all issues of common interest. Now, where Pakistan is concerned, I believe that Pakistan has played such a role before. It has provided troops to the Saudis when required in the past, and possibly there are some troops there even now as I speak to you. But none of this has anything to do with India. Yes, it is very likely that the Pakistanis who have been isolated for so long will now start saying that they are back into the mainstream. That is another matter. They were brought into the mainstream by the Americans, not the Saudis. Saudis have only reaffirmed a traditional military arrangement they've had with the Pakistanis in a very specific and limited context. And that is my own view. I don't believe they should agitate us in New Delhi at all.